Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another late edition of the Conspiracy Keepers. My name's Backlash LaRue, and I'm joined with our chairs, Joe Monaco and Scooter McGee. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to do a show, but gentlemen, it is good to at least see you, Joe, and Scooter, hear your voice. Hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. Boy, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now.
I know right now the big thing that's going on is the Olympics, and Joe, I know you wanted to talk about that.
Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, I don't even know where to start with this. First of all, let's agree that what we've been talking about all these years is true. There's an unseen force that's controlling global events. Okay, now if people can't see that by now, they're never going to see it. But there is. It's obvious what's going on. But I want to direct your attention to what we're seeing at the Olympics. First of all, in America, the NFL season has pretty much lifted their restrictions on fans being at the games. Okay, so every stadium is going to be full this year. So we're saying, okay, fans are back in, everything's getting back to normal. Well, no, it's really not, but they're letting that happen here. But no, not in Japan. No fans, masks everywhere, hand sanitizer everywhere. What the globalists are doing is they're letting everybody recognize on a subliminal level, it ain't over. We want you to see no fans here, face masks everywhere. Can't take your face mask off. That's just subliminally letting you know this ain't over yet. Okay, so they really wanted us to see this on this world stage that people are tuning into every single day, that it ain't over yet. Now, in addition to that, I want to talk about this Simone Biles thing. Oh my gosh. First of all, she's got handlers. Okay, she's being told what to do. She's not making these decisions on her own. All these people up at the top, these well-known people that are in her position have handlers. They always have, they always will. When have you ever, in the history of American sports, seen someone with that many people watching, that notoriety, everybody knows who they are, biggest stage, biggest event, say, oh, can't handle it. I just can't handle it. No, I'm quitting. Have you ever seen this in the Super Bowl?
Feeling it, Joe.
Have you ever seen Tom Brady, Joe Montana, any quarterback in the Super Bowl say, oh, the weight of the world is on my shoulders, I can't take it?
I ain't feeling it.
Have you ever seen anybody at the Masters, any big top athlete? Have you ever seen Tiger Woods say, oh, man, I can't handle this pressure. I don't think I'm going to play this Sunday. This has never happened.
And now we're celebrating. You're a quitter. Oh, she's so brave.
Yeah, okay,
You're
that's
a quitter.
That's what I'm getting at. Why now? Because they're flipping the script. America has always worshipped athletes that have overcome the odds. No matter what, they come through in the end. That's what America's all about. Not anymore. They want us to think in the terms of, uh-oh, things are getting too heavy. Stop, quit, take your mental health into consideration before anything else. She's being told to do this. She has no mental problems. That's not the issue. If she did, she would never have gotten this far. She wouldn't have had all the world championships she has already if she's able to fold like this. This never would have happened. She would not have gotten this far if she had this kind of a problem. She's being told what to do, and it's for America to say, quit when it gets too hard.
Joe,
when you get these lockdowns, don't fight it. Just quit. It's above your head. They're subliminally putting that message in you. Okay,
Joe,
go ahead.
I think it is absolutely deplorable that you are talking about a member of your own race with such disparity and dishonor and disrespect.
It's got nothing to do with race. I know. It's got nothing to do with race, though. Yeah.
Okay,
but
so
if I said what you were saying, I'd be the racist.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
So you don't believe in this?
Congratulations for knocking that one out of the park.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was just in this new world of Me Too and Black Lives Matter, and now all of a sudden it's all the mental health. You two do not believe that she just had a mental breakdown and said,
I got the
do it.
twisties instead.
No. And my original point was, when have we ever seen this of a person that with that much stature? What athlete have you ever seen that's the best in the world at what they do? I don't care if it's football, basketball, soccer, LeBron James, Dr. J. Do you ever see them in the NBA finals say, oh, can't do this anymore. It's just too much for me. When have we ever seen this happen?
Well, that's what I'm
Never.
saying is we're getting into the new norm that it's like, you know what? I'm going to put money down that we're going to see other athletes and other people are going to be doing the same thing. Handlers or not.
This is the new, again, Joe, and I'm sorry, Backlash, you brought up Me Too. Governor Cuomo now, Me Too is dead. They can't have their cake and eat it too. And yes, whether you want to call them copycats or whatever, but as Joe said, the script has been flipped. The narrative is now changed. And when you have the courage to stand up and quit, we need to applaud you and give you courage to move forward in your transgendered whatever agenda. Yeah, you're a victor. You're a champion. You're a hero. No, you're not. You're a sniveling crybaby.
Well, which is just a point I was trying to make earlier. America has never thought like this before. We never applauded athletes that quit. Even if this was real, okay, now it's not real. She's been told to do this, but let's just say it was real. Let's just say that the pressure got too much for her and everybody's saying, okay, it's okay, your mental health. Let's say it's real. America's never thought like that before. Athletes that have come through when they've been at the bottom, we've always celebrated. When Carrie Strug did it in 1996, when she had the broken leg and she did the vault and she did her thing. Above all odds, she did it. We celebrated that. That's what America has done before, but now the script has been flipped intentionally to applaud the fact that you're quitting. I'm not going to do this. It's too much for me. It's too big.
And if she truly had mental issues, then she would have removed herself from the Olympics, not from one event, only to go into another event
and come back again. Right.
Now she has all three. She's got a gold and a silver and a bronze. She's a hero.
Yeah. She's obviously got handlers. People are telling her what to do. She's not making decisions on her own. That's my original point. And it's no coincidence. It's at this time, right now, with this athlete, because she's the most recognized athlete in the Olympics right now. So she's the one they want to go after. She was the one they wanted to have to do this. So I'm just telling you that America, they're flipping the script intentionally. They want our thinking to change. They don't want us to admire the people that come through anymore against all odds. They want us to admire, too big for me. I can't handle this. The pressure's too big. I quit. You know what? I don't like it when people boo. I don't think I'm going to play this game. Okay. You got to take care of your mental health. That's not how we thought before. I mean, come on.
And you're tired of people booing in a stadium built for 150,000 that has 3,000 people in it.
Yeah, it's just absolutely incredible. I mean, would people ever
right, Joe.
Would people ever put up with it if Tom Brady on the day of the Super Bowl said, you know what, guys, I ain't playing. It's just too much for me. I can't handle this. I got to take care of my mental health. Hey, backup quarterback, you go ahead and go in. Would we applaud that? Come on. Would we ever applaud that?
Imagine the world we live in, Joe, if we could take the time machine. Everyone wants to take the time machine back in time to kill Hitler. Let's agree that we're going to give him a pass with the first set of trips with the time machine. Imagine if we took the time machine, for example, back in time to the tunnel with the little boy and Mean Joe Green, when the little boy offers Mean Joe the Coke. Imagine instead of Mean Joe accepting that Coke from the child and thanking him and giving him his jersey and they walk away as friends. Imagine if Mean Joe Green had just beaten the living out of that kid and left him there in a pool of his own blood and feces to bleed out. Because that's the society that glorifies we're in now. And I can't imagine how, because it's the programming of television. No, it's the people who program the television and the messages they telegraph. The system can be used for good, but it has completely been usurped now for evil.
Yeah, absolutely. And this goes back to my original point. It should be very obvious now that there is an unseen force that's controlling these world events, because we see the same narrative coming up over and over again. We see the script being changed intentionally all over the world, and we basically see no pushback or any other explanations for it, you know. And the public is just sucking it in left and right. They're buying this thing, and they're, you know, going, oh God, it's so, yeah, you're such a hero to back out like this and take care of your mental health first. We never thought like that before as a nation, but that's
Joe,
what they want you to think now.
you talk about flipping the script. Can you imagine? I'm not suggesting you are, and if we have listeners who are, they are, I'm sure, struggling with this right now in real time. Can you imagine? So let's take me, that I'm 53 years old. I grew up in the Midwest. I've traveled extensively across the United States. I make the Rocky Mountains my home. Let's say I was a 40-year Democrat. The Democrats' platform is my body, my choice. They have flipped that script in a week. They're taking a 50-year narrative and march step of my body, my choice, the right to abortion, even with incest, and every argument they've used, it's now collapsing unto itself, like that condo in Miami that we never heard anything else about. Hey, by the way, are we allowed to talk about the Chandra Levy snuff film that Hillary Clinton took from Jeffrey Epstein that John McAfee attempted to launder the bribe money through?
Hey, if you want to go there, go for it.
Well, I'd rather not. I should probably write a suicide note first.
Well, but I mean, you have to admit the world we have is changing, and it's not changing organically. It's not changing by accident. We've got people at the top that are doing this. It's by design. It absolutely is. And I think, you know, if people can't see that, they've really got to understand that these things aren't happening organically or happening by coincidence. I think that's the main point that I want to get across is when people in general see coincidences and organic things happening organically and independent of each other, and we see connections and links to those things. That's the big difference here. And not only that, but because of the fact that the world is controlled by an unseen force, the same small, powerful group of people are orchestrating all these things to work together for their one world global government.
And people keep saying, well, who are these they and who are you talking about? I'll give two very specific examples. 6 weeks ago, George Soros and Bill Gates bought up the largest COVID testing company in the world. Suddenly, 6 weeks later, it's mandated that you'll have to have your shot or you'll have to get a test twice a week. Who's going to profit from that? Qui bono? And the answer, Bill Gates and George Soros. The headline, the Business Journal, the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times, there's the announcement. Soros and Gates got together and bought up the testing company. Backlash, please confirm. Today is August 4th, and that headline is not 6 weeks old.
Say that again.
That headline is not 6 weeks old. Soros and Gates buy COVID testing company. And you'll see all the headlines. And that story was buried while, you know, locally here, Jim Hooley on the scene and Charles Turner and the Problem Starters, and we're all getting ready to celebrate. And Megan O'Halloran, when you watched her 4 weeks ago, she had raccoon eyes. She was clearly crying before she's going on the air to pretend that everything's fine after she got ushered out the side door at KDVR.
And yep, it was in the Western Journal on, this one actually says August 4th. So it's George Soros and Bill Gates just teamed up to buy a COVID company.
Yeah, but they announced that 6 weeks ago. That's
Mobile Logic. Yeah, it was July. I think the original story was July 20th.
Thank you.
So.
And one more thing I want to point out what they're doing, and we've talked about this before. It's very obvious how their divide and conquer mentality, duality is working. That's how these people work, is to divide the population, get us fighting among each other, and we ignore who's really causing the problems. That's what the political party's all around. That's when we have the left and right. So if you're left or right and you love your political candidate and hate the other one, you're playing their game. You are still in the animal farm of the left-right paradigm until you get out of it altogether. You can't be, I mean, you won't get it if you really love one of these parties, because the controllers set that up. They love their race wars, black versus white. They love that. They orchestrate them. Now, what we've got going on right now is the people that are vaxxed and the people that are unvaxxed. That's right. That's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to get those group of people fighting among each other.
Our 2024 presidential candidate in my camp, Ron DeSantis, this morning told President Joe Biden at a press conference, quote, I don't want to hear any more about, I don't want you to open your trap about COVID anymore until you fix the border problem. Tens of thousands are coming over with COVID every day. You're doing nothing. I don't want to hear a blip from you until you fix the border. He said that. Ron DeSantis said that this morning, August 4th. And again, the government can't tell you what to do, but businesses, it's up to businesses to decide. The businesses have already decided. You're going to conform. You're going to show proof. You're going to be electronically monitored and chipped. It's all for your safety. And anyone who says that we're doing anything nefarious, they're just a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, of course.
This is for your own good.
Yeah, that's their, yeah, they always go there, because not only do they have the minds of most Americans programmed, they also have their minds programmed to anything that happens if anybody brings up anything contrary to the popular narrative as to what to say and how to react to it. And they don't even know that they're being programmed.
The idiots right now are walking around talking about all of these, quote, rare breakthrough cases. Well, if they're rare breakthrough cases, why are there so many of them, you idiot?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't know if we talked about this last time or not, but oh no, I think we did talk about that. The Sigma Delta variable thing that's going on right now. That is just code. That's just code for people who are getting sick from the 1/9er jab. That's what that is. But getting back to the vax versus anti-vax, let me give you a prediction what I think is going to happen with the NFL, because the NFL is really going to push this thing forward. And it's already happening. We see it happening in Minnesota right now. Minnesota's rookie quarterback, Kellen Mond, allegedly got tested positive for the 1/9er. As a result, their two other quarterbacks, including the starter, Kirk Cousins, had to quarantine themselves for 6 days because they were in close contact with him. So they're out. Now, see where this is going. The NFL has said, if this happens during the regular season, if you don't have a quarterback or whatever, or you don't have enough players,
you pay for it.
You forfeit the game. Okay.
And you're financially responsible.
Yeah.
They put that in the clause.
Okay.
You are economically responsible.
Right. But look where they're going with this. Look how they're going to get the vax versus anti-vax going in the NFL. What if you have this big game going on and somebody tests positive that's not vaxxed and they have to forfeit the game? Think of what this is going to do to the fans. They're going to be livid and irate over who? The person that hasn't gotten the vax that started this whole thing.
Now,
look where they're going with this.
Joe, Michael Vick came back from worse, so come on.
Yeah, he did. Of course he did. So watch for that to happen. Watch for something to happen to where you've got the vax and the unvaxxed in the same place, and something happens going to be blamed on these terrible people that haven't gotten the vax. And watch how it really turns up the heat against people who hate that group of people, and they're going to love it. The people that are orchestrating this are going to think that's the greatest thing ever. That's better than a race war to them. It's coming. I'm telling you, that's what they're going to do. And they've already given us a test up in Minnesota about how they're going to do this. So I'm telling you, I don't know, but if there is maybe a slight glimpse of some good news, and this isn't really good, it just means that shows like ours are doing some good and they're making people a little bit nervous. because the people up at the top now are realizing how we're getting around the censorship by using terms like jab or whatever, that people know what we're talking about, but it gets beyond the censors so they don't take us down. And now, I don't know if you saw this, but it made national news. Now they're talking about these people that are spreading misinformation. By the way, when they say you're spreading misinformation, that means you're telling the truth and too many people are hearing it, so they're gonna have to classify it as misinformation. So they're saying, oh, they're getting around and being deleted and taken down because they're using their own language now. Well, now these people up at the top, these elite, are getting a taste of their own medicine because they've always done stuff like that with their secret handshakes and their secret societies and their signs and symbols that nobody knows what's going on except them. Now they're getting sorry about that. Now they're getting a taste of their own medicine and they all like it. Because why would they bring people like us up unless we're doing some damage and doing some good? And they're going, oh, we're getting a little bit nervous now because too many people are figuring this out. So we're going to have to say those people are spreading misinformation. So if there is a little bit of good news, that means that people like us, our voices are getting out there and we're waking some people up, and the people at the top don't like it. Go ahead.
Joe, our exodus from Afghanistan continues. The State Department on Monday of August 2021 now having to extend the region in which Afghani refugees will be allowed to flee because of the size of territory that the Taliban has regained since the United States began. They're supposed to be out by September 1st, but we're in the first week of August. Do they resurrect the Taliban boogeyman again? Because remember, Obama defeated the Taliban, and then ISIL, and then ISIS, and John McCain, and all that nonsense, and the gun running, and Ambassador Stevens and Benghazi. But what difference does it matter? I want to see this snuff film. So do they bring back again, they're going to need another catastrophic global event to keep the world afraid so they can keep going. Do they bring back the Taliban boogeyman, or is it a new one again?
It's hard to say. They just, sometimes they, even though they're very predictable in some areas, they're kind of unpredictable in others. So they tend to use the same tactics because they always work, but they just kind of morph it into something else. Just like when we're dealing with the 1-9er, they just morphed it into this variant instead of just keeping this. So that's tends to what they go on. Once they figure out they've gotten some good mileage and traction out of this one thing, then they morph it into something else, like they did with Al Qaeda. They just changed it to another name. Let's talk about ISIS now. So they just keep morphing the same lie into something else. So yeah, they'll come up with something that's very similar, but probably a little bit different because they've gotten as much mileage out of it as they can. That's when we haven't heard from Al Qaeda in 10 years. It's like, what happened? Did they just disband? I mean, what happened there? Yeah,
Right.
they just moved on from that lie. Just feed us another one now.
Hey, Backlash, did you Google Chandra Levy snuff film?
I don't think I want to.
Yeah, right. I don't blame you.
I'm afraid of anybody, looking at my browser. My wife's gonna be like, "What?" No.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the good thing, because no matter what comes up on your search history, you can always say that we asked you to do that. So you've always got an out. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. You see it?
was on
folks. Just says who.
Chandra Levy's snuff film was on YouTube last night.
That's IMBA. Who killed Chandra Levy? Directed by. Doesn't show anything.
Apparently, she was used in one of those sacrifices, but there's supposedly a tape, and why was Clinton always on Epstein's plane? Supposedly, Bill was befriending Epstein to get this tape. Allegedly, it fell into the hands of McAfee, because of the software thing, he got a copy of it, and that's why Hillary had him clipped.
Well, one point I want to make about that, there's no doubt
That story sounds good, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it might be, it sounds like it could be true because the Clintons are dirtbags. There's no question about that. But let's keep in mind, it's not just them. It's not just the left and that's dirty. It's the right as well. As a matter of fact, it kind of amuses me, especially these people coming from the right that don't get it either, saying, "Oh, the reason they murdered Epstein is because he had dirt on the Clintons and all this kind of stuff." And I'm sure that Epstein did know the Clintons. There's no question about that. But the thing that's amazing to me about the right is there's no videotapes of Clinton and Epstein ever being together. However, there's tons of tapes of Trump and Epstein together and Maxwell. And Trump even admits knowing her and says he even wishes her well, even after she got arrested. So we know he knows them. But the right say, "Oh no, we won't talk about that. Let's get this back to the Clintons." No, they're all dirty, greasy dirtbags. They're all in it together. Clinton, Trump, Obama, Bush, they're all the same family. They're all doing this. They're all in it together.
Joe,
Okay, I feel better now.
Again, they do it all by design.
They do.
Nothing happens by accident.
Exactly. You and I off air, although we have not been talking, it's not like we're fighting or anything. We haven't spoken off air about this. About what? You just kind of broke up a little bit.
I want to know what you're thinking right now. It's the economy, stupid. Back to James Carville and Clinton. As we are seeing record rampant inflation that the White House is trying to discount, gas prices soar, food prices soaring, healthcare, medicine, clothing, you name it. What do you see with the economy?
Well, we know what they want to do. We know they want to collapse the economy. We know that. We know they want to collapse the dollar. Now, how soon are they going to do it? And how are they going to get away with it? I don't know. But we know they want us off paper money. They want us on a digital currency, and they want us on a one world currency. And to do that, they have to.
Remember when COVID first started? They tried to claim that COVID was on the paper money.
Oh, they're still doing
it. They wanted to go digital.
Yeah, right. And if you go to the grocery stores now, or a lot of chain restaurants or whatever, they're saying, "Oh no, we don't have any change. There's a shortage of Federal Reserve change." It's like, come on, baloney. How can there be a shortage of money? Of course there is. That's just more proof that they want to get rid of the monetary system we have now, and they want to establish a new one. That's why they're getting us used to Bitcoin.
By the way, last month, the Treasury Department in the month of July took $1 trillion in cash out of the system through the overnight window, the lending window. They called the loans in and they have not reissued the money, which means that the Federal Reserve just removed $1 trillion in cash, not ones and zeros, cash from the US economic system. So this shortage is being created.
That's right.
And that's from the Federal Reserve's own websites. But you can't make it up. That's their overnight lending window. And the overnight lending window is which in theory sets the rest of the insurance rates, the interest rates.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So all this, you have to like kind of put this whole thing together. All this is designed to collapse the current economy that we have right now. That's
in order to get us to Bitcoin, don't they have to collapse Bitcoin too?
Well, they probably will, because I'm not saying Bitcoin is the digital currency they want, but that's what they want us to get used to.
Bitcoin. It'll be
everything we're doing. Everything we're doing right now is pretty much cashless. I mean, debit card, Venmo.
Right.
I mean, you walk in and hand somebody a bill, they look like you're an alien. Like, what is this?
Yeah, that's right. See, they've been doing this for a long time, but they've been doing it slowly. So they want us to get used to not using cash, because eventually they want to go cashless. That's why
when you hand a kid a $2 bill at 7-Eleven, he thinks you're giving him counterfeit money.
Well, I would never do that. I actually collect those. So.
So also, that's why it's so hard for businesses to find employees now. Why is that? Because they're being subsidized by the government. Now, Why is the government doing that? Because they want those businesses to fail. They don't want you to find workers. They want it to be very difficult. Big Brother is going to take care of these people, so they want these businesses to collapse. That's part of their plan to collapse the economy. So if you put all this together, you got to admit, it makes perfect sense. I don't know why people can't see it. It's just, I guess I'm so baffled. It's like, to me, it's so obvious. I don't know why people argue with us or people like us about it and say, oh, you guys are full of crap. You're conspiracy theorists. Well, they've been trained to think that way, but I just don't know why they can't see it. It's so in your face.
Because critical thinking requires effort and time, and the system is designed to keep people on the hamster wheel, and they don't have time, let alone they want to think what's popular. They don't want to think what everyone, I'm thinking and nobody else is thinking that. Well, there must be something wrong with me.
Yeah. So how much time have we got? we covered a lot of stuff today.
Sorry, I was on mute. We've got about
good.
6 minutes until we're
cool. Okay.
end of time.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, I don't know. Go ahead.
Joe, I had to get another iPhone due to an accident, so I haven't seen any of our stuff and don't know how to find us. We could do all of that and plug social media. Backlash, could we clip this one and come back and just do 20 minutes on the fly?
I'd have to resend a few more things to you, and that's possible. I need to be out of here pretty quick. So,
all
Joe.
Right, well, let's do that. So, Joe, how does the world find us and all that? Hey,
okay,
let's come back and do a quick recap of July, because there's a couple other things I want to hit.
Okay, we can go, if you want to find where all our shows are, they are on conspiracykeepers.com. You can find it on YouTube as well under Joe Monaco, but we want you to go to our website, because YouTube, they try to censor. They've already taken one of our videos down. We've been pretty good about using code words to where they're not going to take a lot of them down. So, but anyway, go to our website at conspiracykeepers.com. My website is theconspiracyzone.net, and I've got that linked as well to a lot of other articles. I've got an article about the jab and the cult of CV19. It's a cult. It's cult thinking. That's why they've got so many people involved in. So I've got some pretty good articles on that as well. So that's where you want to go to find us.
I just got a text from Chappaqua 1691 that says there is no snuff film. Keep talking and you'll be on it. In it?
Who said?
I don't know.
Where'd you find? Where did that come in from?
Chappaqua 1691.
Huh. I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know either. It's probably spam.
Yeah, it could be.
Real quick, 2 seconds, and then we'll go. We'll do this on the extemporaneous one. Hey guys, you remember 20 years ago when these mandatory seatbelt laws came into play, and we all agreed that a cop's never going to pull you over just because you're not wearing a seatbelt?
I do remember that.
Because that'd be a conspiracy theory. You think the cops got nothing better to do but pull you over just because you're not wearing a seatbelt and give you a ticket? Come on. Come on, man. You're a conspiracy theorist. Come on, man. Chocolate chip ice cream. It's number one with me, man. Come on. I just got my butt wiped. Last month, for the month of July, the Colorado State Patrol issued over 2,000 tickets with fines for no click it, get a ticket. $100,000 worth of revenue they generate because you're not wearing a seatbelt. No, there's no conspiracy. Remember, Joe, the conspiracy about paper or plastic, because at some point they're going to charge you 10 cents for a plastic bag?
I do.
I just want to thank Governor Polis and the good people of Boulder for making that conspiracy theory happen. I'm just really sad that we did not factor in the rate of inflation. 20 years ago, it was 10 cents. Now it's 20 years later, and they're going to get their fine, and it's still 10 cents. We were wrong.
Yeah, well, remember at the beginning of this whole thing when we said, you know where they're going with this whole CV19 thing. They're going to
2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Well, but remember, we said that they're going to be saying, You can't go and buy or sell unless you have your papers. You can't cross state lines unless you have your papers. And when people say, you conspiracy theorists, that's not going to happen. Well,
that was my point. Exactly right, Joe.
It happened just like we told you it was going to happen.
It just didn't take 20 years. It took 16 months.
Yeah, I know. So.
All right, so let's wrap it up. We'll come back, and we got a couple of good things I want to ask you guys.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right. We'll see you in just a few more minutes with another episode, a very short one, of the Conspiracy Keepers.